hope your day's going wonderful. I'm so glad you're joining me today. Well, we're using a Spellbinders Club kit this month. We're using the Stencil of the Month Club kit for April 2024. It's called Rainbow Floss Background. This month you get 5 stencils. Let me show you. And they make some embroidery floss. I thought it was really fun. I have a small picture of what it looks like. And so we're going to create a pretty simple card today using the Rainbow Floss background. We're also going to be using just a few items from the Spellbinders Large Die of the Month Club kit. I thought we would use the needles and then also the thread here we're going to bring in. The needles I'm going to die cut out with some mirror silver cardstock, and then the thread, I'm not sure what color thread to use yet, so we'll see. For my greeting, I'm using another Spellbinders Club kit. This is the Spellbinders Happy Stitching stamp set. This is the stamp and die set, and we're going to use a greeting for our card today. Today's card, we are going to jump in and get started. Each of the stencils are labeled, and I'm going to start with stencil 1. There's a paper guide on each of the stencils. There's little marks in the corner to where you can line up your paper, and I'm going to use that for this card today just to make things a little bit easier. I have 2 sets of inks. I have a teal and then like a corally color. I thought that would be really pretty on my card today. For stencil 1, I'm using Coral Reef. These are my PINKFRESH Studio inks. I'm going to add some color here. Okay, we're going to put this away and take stencil number 2, which is the next row. I'm going to line up that corner once more. We're going to tack this down. And I'm going to use my light blue ink. This is Waterfall. We'll add a little color here. And I'm creating light and dark areas with my inks. Okay. Let's go ahead and remove this. Wonderful. We're going to bring in stencil 3. Okay, because I want different colors for each one of these. So with my darker ink, let's bring in some Post-it note tape. And then we're going to go over our blue embroidery floss with my Paradise ink. Okay, I'm going to wipe this off because I don't want the color to transfer to my next color. I'm going to go ahead and cover up the teal now and do the same thing, but this time I'm going to use my Berrylicious ink. Hopefully that stays down. And we're going to add some ink to the second layer here. We can remove our mask now. It's coming along just beautifully. Now for our labels for our embroidery floss, we're going to use stencil 4. I'm going to line up that corner once more. Now for this, I'm going to tape it down because I'm afraid my stencil will shift, and I'm going to be using black ink, and I definitely don't want this to shift while I'm adding my black ink. Okay, so I'm using my licorice ink here. And we're going to add some color right over the top. And I love that it kind of creates a shadow. So I have some light areas and some dark areas. I like that look. I'm going to wipe off my stencil, and then we're going to bring in our last layer. Now with the last stencil, I'm going to treat my paper with my anti-static powder tool. Okay, and then I'm going to secure my last stencil, tape it down so it's not going to move anywhere, and I'm going to use a watermark ink, and I'm going to go over the last stencil. I thought we would heat emboss this last area. I'm going to go ahead and lift up my stencil and bring in some silver for embossing powder. Okay, and then I'm going to use my heat gun, and we're going to melt it. I went ahead and melted it, and I must have over inked it because I have embossing powder in the black area, but I kind of like the softness that it brings. So I'm gonna roll with this, even though you can see how the embossing powder went into that black area. I may not have let it dry before embossing, but I kind of like it. Okay, I'm going to roll with it. On white cardstock, I'm going to stamp my greeting that says, "Thinking of you with each stitch." I think that's so nice. So I will ink this up. We'll stamp this, and then I'm going to use the coordinating die, and I'm going to cut out my greeting. My greeting is die cut out, and then instead of using gold Mayer cardstock, I thought we would use silver. I'm going to go ahead and grab the needles, and I think I'm going to grab the thimble too. And then with the string, I'm going to die cut that out with some waterfall cardstock. I'm going to run, well, maybe, since we have the mirror silver, let's see if we can die cut out a few safety pins too. Okay, and I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and I will be right back. If you have Spellbinders mirror silver cardstock, it looks fabulous with the safety pins. I just love it. And also, it looks pretty fabulous with the thimble. These two pieces are left over for the embroidery floss, and I'm going to keep that here because I can use that for another project. And that is everything. Let's go ahead and bring in our stencil background. To create my card, I'm going to trim just a hair off of all of the sides. So we have foam tape behind our greeting. I'm going to bring in a piece of vellum, and I'm going to add this to my card. Just using, actually, I'm going to add this here. And then I'm going to add some adhesive right behind that, so you can't see the adhesive. I'm going to trim away what's overhanging. Okay, and then I went ahead and threaded my thread through my needle, and then added some glue behind here. I'm going to go ahead and add my needle and my thread, making sure it's on that vellum so you can see it. And then we can add our thimble here. We'll do a little tucking with it. And as much as I like the way my safety pins look, I'm not going to use these on my card today. I'm going to add this one though. Okay. Last but not least, I'm going to come in with some of my Spellbinders Teal gems. And that will finish my card today using the Spellbinders Stencil of the Month. But we also used the Clear Stamp and Die of the Month Club kit and also the large Die of the Month Club kit. But I love the way this turned out. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a lovely day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.